Now we move on to red. All right. Breaching Dragonstorm. So this is another one of the bouncy dragon enchantments. 5 mana for when this enchantment enters, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast it without paying its mana cost if the spell's mana value is 8 or less. If you don't, put that card into your hand. Okay. This is either you win the game or nothing happens. So, I mean, if you like your, roll the dice RNGesus slot machine deck for limited, I guess this is it, right? We need to find like some really big things for this to hit. But if you find some really big things for this to hit and it hits them, your opponent probably just concedes. I don't know what the biggest thing you can hit with this is. We need like a mana value 8 giant dragon. There was the blue one. What was the blue one? The blue one was 7 mana. No, it was 6 mana for a 6/7 that bounced 2 things. Like, you hit that off this, you're fucking laughing. And then it automatically bounces back because you hit a dragon. This is probably the most entertaining of the Dragonstorms. I don't think it's the best. I still think the black one's better than this. But this is certainly funny. This if you hit off it, this is hilarious. Channeled Dragonfire. Okay, 1 red for 2 damage to any target. Hey, look, it's shock. And you can harmonize it. So you can do 2 more damage for... Okay. The harmonize cost is a bit crap, but I mean, it's just shock. Sweet. Shock with you can play me again. That's actually probably pretty good. It is a sorcery speed shock, actually, so it's worse than shock. Because shock is instant. I mean, it's probably still good, because you can still use it as removal for, most of the time, but nah. Hoary Steel Cutter. 2 mana for an artifact. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has trample and haste. Sure, whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create a 1/1 white monk creature token with prowess. You may attach this equipment to it. Okay, this equipment I like. Because it does something anyway. So, when this is on the board, you paid it for 2. That was your turn. On turn 3, if you cast 2 spells, you do at least get the white monk creature token, and this attaches to it. So it is a 2/2 white monk with prowess, trample, and haste. So it can attack immediately. I think this is actually really good. This is probably one of the best equipments I've seen in a while. It makes dudes, automatically attaches to those dudes, and then gives them haste. That's really good. Yeah, this card is really good. Devoted... by the way, this is really good in, like, limited and possibly even in standard. And probably even in Commander, right? Like, this card is just very good. Devoted Duelist. 2 mana for a 2/1 with haste. And whenever you cast your second spell, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. I mean, this is a nice little aggro guy. 2 mana, this comes down, cracks your opponent for 2. Then the next turn, they probably take 3 because you're playing multiple cards. Yeah, I don't mind this as an aggro guy. He's not particularly exciting, but he's fine for an aggro deck. Dracogenesis. I have heard of this. I have heard this being stupid. Is 8 mana enchantment. You may cast dragon spells without paying their mana costs. Okay. Okay. So, in limited, this card blows. I'm sorry. It does. There is no way you are having enough dragon spells in your deck that you are surviving to turn 8 and this card is being good. It's just not happening. You need the early game creatures to survive. The dragon creatures you're going to have like 2 or 3 of, maybe, because that's how many you got in your pulls, and also that's how many you could fit of super expensive cards. This card is bad in limited. In standard, it's probably still too expensive and probably still bad. Unless there's a way to cheat it out, which there probably is, because of course there is. And in Commander, I know there's people fucking rubbing their hands together or grinding up against the nearest object with excitement because of how good this card is going to be in Dragon Commander decks, right? This just turns every Dragon Commander deck into a combo deck. Because you just annihilate people with dragons for free. So, like, I know a lot of people want I know a lot of people that are very excited about this card and want everyone to be very excited about this card. This card is very, very cool, and if I was playing a Dragon Commander deck, sure, it would be in there. But I think in Limited, this card blows ass, and I think in Standard, it's probably still too slow. Equilibrium Adept. Okay. 4 mana for a 2/4 Dog Monk. He's a good boy. When this creature enters, exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. Okay, nice. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, this creature gains double strike. Pretty good, actually. Double strike on the attack is very nice. Double strike on the block is even nicer because you can probably just eat something. And the enters ability allows you to trigger the 2 spells each turn more regularly because you get an extra spell off the top of your deck. So he comes down, again, his stats aren't great. He's just a 2/4 when he comes down. But you probably give him double strike on your following turn. And then from then on, you can probably just, yeah, he's probably gets double strike at least once. So I think he's okay. He's not particularly like incredible, but I think he's okay. I think he's fine. I think you're happy running at least 1 or 2 of these in your Jeskai deck. Fire Rim Form. Okay. 2 mana, Flash Enchant Aura. When this aura enters, enchanted creature gains first strike until end of turn, and it gets +2/+0. Again, I don't like auras, because every time I try to use them, my opponent has the removal, and I just 2-for-1 myself and get sad over it. But there is absolutely a game that I'm going to stream, and everyone's going to be watching me, and my opponent's going to attack with a creature, and I'm going to block it, and he's going to play this and just blow me out, and I'm going to be sad about it. So don't worry, I won't play this card, but I will get absolutely destroyed by this card, and everyone can laugh at me for it. Fleeting Effigy is a 1 mana 2/2 with haste. At the beginning of your end step, return this card to your hand, and then you can give it +2 shitty fire breathing. I mean, for an aggro deck, this might be okay. Like, you have to be really aggro for this, though, right? Like, if this is your only plan, you have to be really fucking aggro. Like, because this just comes down. This is like shock on turn 1, 2, and possibly 3, and then your opponent can block it. Which is like 6 damage really early on, which is nice. But, like, I suppose also you could... but then if you've done nothing but this for, like, the first 3 or 4 turns, is that really good? I don't know, maybe you just do this turn 1 and then turn 2 you just play like a regular game and then it's just in your hand and you can play it whenever you want to get an extra bit of free damage in. You've got a spare mana. This is probably fine, actually. This can be your second spell of a turn as well, regularly. So, yeah, okay. Iridescent Tiger is a 5 mana, and when it enters, if you cast it, add 1 of every color. Okay. Is there something that costs 1 of every mana that we care about for this? I guess I'll have to wait until we get to the gold cards. But Sure, I mean, it's got crap stats, but maybe this is good for something. I don't know. I haven't seen the green gold cards yet. I'm excited to get to them. So I have no idea if this is good or this is just like a 5 mana 3/4. We'll have to see when we get to the gold cards. Ooh, Jeskai Devote E is a 2 mana 2/2. Whenever you cast your second spell, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Okay, not bad. And it's got the mana conversion. This is probably good as well. I'm assuming all of these devotees are probably going to be good. Just because they all have the mana conversion ability, which is probably useful. So yeah, this is probably good. Magmatic Hellkite is a 4 mana 4/5 flyer. When this creature enters, destroy target non-basic land opponent's control. Its controller searches their library for a basic land, puts it onto the battlefield tapped with a stun counter on it. Holy shit. Lands can get stun counters now? This is fucking rude, by the way. This is rude. Okay. In Limited, you're absolutely playing this card. It's a 4 mana 4/5 flyer. Of course you are. But also, you're a bad person for playing this card. Like, land destruction. And I know. It's non-basic land. Probably doesn't actually make that much of a difference, depending. We haven't seen the lands yet, so maybe the triomes are back or whatever they were. And I know there's like 5 new special lands that people are all losing their shit over. So maybe this is good. But destroying an opponent's... So say you're on turn 4, your opponent's on turn 3. You play this, you destroy their non-basic land, they get a basic land, but it enters tapped and has a stun counter on it. So next turn, it stays tapped, and they're just like, oh, I'm still at 3 mana. And you have a 4/5? That is fucking rude. That is just rude. Yeah, this card is really good, and if you get it, you should definitely run it. In Limited, it's good. It's probably good in Standard, like mono red aggro in Standard, and you just have this as the top end of your curve just to fucking ruin your opponent's day. Like this is so, and like in Commander, this destroys non-basic lands. Man, this is such a this is just this card is yeah, this is offensive. And great as well. I like it, but this is offensive. Meticulous Artisan. 4 mana for a 3/3 with prowess, and when it enters, create a treasure token. 4. Its stats are a bit crappy, but it has prowess, so maybe it makes treasure, which is fine because that's just extra mana for the next time you might need it. It's okay. It's fine. It's you know, a 22nd, 23rd card. You probably have one of these. Sure. Very, very pack fillery, mediocre. Sure. Molten Exhale. 2 mana. You may cast a spell as though it had flash if you behold a dragon as an additional cost. Okay. Deal 4 damage to type creature or planeswalker. Okay. I think sorcery speed, this is fine. Instant speed, this is very good. So this is, I mean, you're taking this, it's removal. I think you're taking it either way in Limited. But I think this at sorcery speed is really good. And this at normal, this at instant speed is really good. This at sorcery speed is probably still fine. Narset's Rebuke. 5 mana for an instant. Narset's Rebuke deals 5 damage to target creature. Add Jeskai colors. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Okay, so this is 2 mana for 5 damage. Because you get Jeskai back. This is good. Again, this is probably a card you're really happy with in Limited, right? It's removal, it's 5 damage, and I know you have to get to 5 mana for it, which is a bit much. But you get to exile the creature, plus you get Jeskai mana, so you can probably play something afterwards. So this could be the start of your 2-card, second card a turn thing. This is probably good. Yeah, I like this. Overwhelming Surge. 3 mana for an instant, choose one or both. 3 damage type creature, destroy target non-creature artifact. Yeah, this is good. Slightly more expensive Abrade, but you get both options. Still instant speed. I think you probably run as many copies as this as you can fit into your deck if you're running red. This is good. Rescue Leopard. 3 mana for a 4/2. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Loot attached to a creature. Okay, sure. Doesn't have to attack, it's just when it becomes tapped, so if you've got ways to tap it, you know, you can loot with it without risking it dying. You probably just attack with it, though, because it's a 4/2 and you don't really care. This is okay. You know, it's fine. Reverberating Summons. 2 mana for an enchantment. At the beginning of each combat, if you've cast 2 or more spells this turn, this enchantment becomes a 3/3. At the beginning of combat, if you've cast 2 or more spells, it becomes a 3/3 monk with haste in addition to its other types. You can tap 2, discard your hand, sacrifice to draw 2 cards. This is probably good, right? This is probably good. It's a 3/3 that avoids interaction unless they interact with it on your turn. Actually, it's each combat, so you can make it into a 3/3 on your opponent's turn if you cast 2 spells and then block with it. Yeah, this is pretty good, I think. This is probably pretty good for limited. Just a sneaky 3/3, and then there's always the bottom bit if the 3/3 is no longer relevant and you need more cards. Yeah, I think this is good. Sarkhan, how you doing, buddy? No longer a planeswalker, I see. Sarkhan Dragon Ascendant is a 2 mana 2/2, and when he enters, you may behold a dragon. If you do, create a treasure token. Sure. Whenever a dragon you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on Sarkhan. Till end of turn, Sarkhan becomes a dragon in addition to his other types and gains flying. Okay. Sure. This is a nice early creature in a dragon deck, I guess. Again, I don't know if you're going to have critical mass of dragons. So, but he's just a 2 mana 2/2 that kind of just sits there. And if you do play dragons, he gets bigger and gains flying, which is fine. You do have that very rude red dragon that we just went past, which is very good. I mean, I think this is okay. I'm not, you know, again, I think in limited this is worse because I just don't think you have a critical mass of dragons. And especially with like how aggressive the Mardu looks like it can be, and how aggressive the Abzan looks like it can be with creature generations or +1/+1 counters. Now I know that it's or instead of both. Like, I feel like you just might get beaten down too hard if you, unless you have some very cheap dragons. Seize Opportunity is 3 mana, choose 1, exile the top 2 cards of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play these cards. Sure. Up to 2 target creatures each get +2/+1. Okay. Sure, this is fine. I mean, it's instant speed. You can do it at the end of your opponent's turn to get 2 extra cards off the top of your library. Sure, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Shock Brigade is a 2 mana 1/3 with Menace and Mobilize 1. Very basic and probably very good in the Mardu setup because more mobilization is just better. So, yep, I like this card. Shocking Sharpshooter is a 2 mana 1/3 with Reach, and whenever another creature you control enters, this deals 1 damage to each target opponent. Is this another way for Mardu to use their 1/1s to deal more damage? Dude, Mardu's gonna slap. Because you've already got whenever a creature you control dies, your opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And this is whenever they enter your opponent, this deals 1 damage to your opponent. Like, if you make 5 guys, between both of those, your opponent is almost dead. And that's not including the attacking. Like, I think if you can get a good Mardu deck going with pings and making guys, it's going to be really hard to beat. Stadium Headliner is a 1 mana, 1/1 with Mobilize 1. Cool. 2 mana, sacrifice this creature. It deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature. I mean, this is good. Turn 1, you play this. Turn 2, you attack with it. Make an extra dude. Like, 2 damage. If your opponent has a blocker, I guess you could always sacrifice this. I don't think you'd want to, though. I don't know. Maybe not, because the tokens don't stay around, so this only makes an extra 1/1 a turn. But then a bunch of your other stuff cares about either making 1/1s or 1/1s dying or just having things to sacrifice, so, or should do if you're playing Mardu. So yeah, I think this is good. It's a nice early creature, makes tokens. Yeah, I think this is good. Storm Scale Scion is a 6 mana 4/4 flying. Other dragons you control get +1/+1 and has Storm. Okay. How good is this in Limited? I know people are going to hate me for this. I think this might be the worst dragon we've seen so far. Specifically in Limited. I would like to caveat that. Specifically in Limited. Because it's a 6 mana 4/4. We just had a 4 mana 4/5. This is a 4 mana 4/5 that puts your opponent behind a turn for the next turn. This comes down 2 turns later. And if it comes down 2 turns later, is a 6 mana 4/4 flyer. That makes your other dragons bigger, if you have other dragons. Like, I understand there's a bunch of people that are like, oh my god, it's got Storm. I can have 10 of these. And I'm like, yeah, no, but not really. It's not Magical Christmas Fairyland. You're not on 16 mana and you're not casting 10 one-cost cantrips that draw cards to get to this that you cast for 6 and then storm out, 10 copies of it or whatever. Like, it's not happening. Doesn't have haste or anything like that. It doesn't do anything when it enters apart from the storm. But the storm is on cast, so not on enter. But it doesn't do anything when it enters apart from it's got the aura for dragons. But like, I think this is the worst dragon we've seen so far. Because I think in 90% of your Limited games, when you play this card, it is 1 6 mana 4/4 flyer. That's it. I think there's like 5% where it's 2, and there's probably like 8%, like 98. So like there's an 8% where it's 2 of them, and there's a 2% chance you get 3 of them. And I think that's it. I think that's as far as this thing caps out. Now, if you get 3 of this, and it makes, itself 2 copies, or you cast 2 spells before it, so itself 2 copies, and all of them are 6/6s, and all your other dragons have +3/+3, this card is insane, and you just win. But I think that's like the 2% Magical Christmas Fairyland. I think there's an 8% where you get 2 5/5 flyers out of this. That's still very good. But that's, again, the 8%, 1 in 100 chance or whatever. Like very rarely happens. Super niche. Occasionally I have a 1 mana draw spell that I play before this for 7. For a total of 7 mana spent. And then I think 90% of your time, the vast majority when you play this card, it's a 6 mana 4/4. Like, because just the other dragons are better, right? Like, what do we have? A 6 mana 3/5 with Death Touch that just eats this. We had, a 6 mana 6/7 that bounces 2 cards to their opponent's hand that just eats this bounce 2 other cards as well. Like, there's every other dragon. Like, maybe the blue one that was 6 mana for a 4/4 flying ward 2. But that has ward 2. This doesn't even have ward. This just dies to removal. At least the ward dragon makes you pay extra for it. Like, this is the worst dragon we've seen so far. And there's a bunch of people who are very upset I just said that. But this is the worst dragon we've seen for limited so far. Storm Shriek Feral is a 5 mana, 3/3 flying haste with crap fire breathing. You had to go and make me essentially get... So, okay, this is no longer the worst dragon. Guess what? This now is. This comes out... it also has Flush Out for 2 mana, discard a card, draw 2. That's actually pretty good. I'll give you that. That's good. I mean, it's fine, I guess. Actually, no, that's just card. Well, yeah, this is just card neutral, I guess. Even the Omen isn't great. Yeah, this is probably the worst dragon we've seen so far, actually. A 3/3 flying haste for 5. I mean, White had a 3/3 flying dragon for 3. I guess this does also have fire breathing, but like... Okay, fine, there is a new worst dragon. Everyone can feel better about themselves. It's no longer the Storm Scale, it is the Storm Shriek. Summit Intimidator is a 4 mana 4/3 with reach, and when this creature enters, target creature can't block this turn. Sure. I mean, this is fine. This is another like 22nd, 23rd card. Sure, whatever. Sunset Strike Master is a 2 mana 3/1 that can tap to generate red. Interesting. When did red get mana nerds? And for 3 mana, tap, sacrifice this creature. It deals 6 damage to target creature with flying. You can blow up a dragon. So, she just kills this. For 3 mana. Man, the Storm Scale Sign is in shambles. That card is not very good. Okay, she's... The Strike Master's actually pretty good. Like, mana nerds are generally decent, and this is a mana nerd that has, you know, removal stapled to it if it's a flying creature. There's a lot of dragons in this deck. It probably gets value. Tersa Light Shatterer. Or Light Shatter, sorry. Tersa Light Shatter. A 3 mana, 3/3 with haste. When she enters, discard 2 cards and draw that many. Okay. Whenever they attack, if there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard, as exile a card at random from your graveyard, you may play that card this turn. You still have to pay for it. I mean, this is probably okay. This is a weird one, right? Because it's a 3 mana 3/3 with haste, so the stats are fine. So you probably just play this and you're fine with it. When it enters, discard 2 cards and draw 2 cards. Sure. And then when it attacks, if there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard, which probably not by turn 3, even with the discard, you get to exile a card. So this probably doesn't trigger until like turn 4 or 5, and that's if you're absolutely yeeting stuff into the graveyard. And then you get to replay cards from your graveyard. Because like, the first time she attacks, the bottom part doesn't trigger, so it doesn't matter really. Because I don't think there's any way on turn 3, if she comes down on turn 3, that you have 7 cards in your graveyard. So, I think this is probably pretty good, right? Because it just lets you recast stuff from your graveyard. Yeah. I mean, the exile card at random is kind of annoying. But if it's a land, you can still play it. If it's not a land, you can cast it, probably. Because if you're playing her for exactly turn 3, so you don't have any mana left, you're not triggering the 7 or more cards in your graveyard. And by the time you are triggering that, you've probably got like 5 or 6 mana going. So you can probably play just about everything you own. So, yeah. This is probably pretty good. Like, I don't know. Because it's when she attacks, maybe, like, by the time this comes around, you just yeet it, and your opponent just blocks and kills her, and you get, like, a land out of it, and then it's crap. But, I mean, she's aggressive, and you can play her early, and then you get to loot, and, yeah, it's probably good. It's probably pretty good. I think this is pretty good. Twin Bolt, 2 mana for 2 damage. Sure, seeing this, I think this is a reprint, so whatever. It's fine. It's instant. Again, it's shock. It's slightly better because you can kill 2 1/1s, but it's just like it's bad shock because it costs more, but it's removal. We like removal. We probably take it. Underfoot Underdogs, 3 mana for a 1/2, but it creates a 1/1, so it's actually a 2/3. And for 1 mana, tap target creature you control with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. Okay, it's good to have maybe one of these. It does cost 1 and tap, though, which slows you down quite a lot in an aggressive deck, probably. Maybe. I mean, yeah, you probably have, like, one of these, right? But you're not too excited about it, so... Sure. Unsparring Boltcaster is a 3 mana 3/3. When it enters, it deals 5 damage to target creature or opponent controls that was dealt damage this turn. I mean, it's a 3 mana 3/3. The 5 damage is really good if your opponent blocks something and then you just annihilate it. This is probably good. This is probably a good creature in limited. War Effort. 4 mana. Creatures you control get +1/+0. Whenever you attack, create a 1/1 red warrior creature token that's tapped and attacking, sacrifice it. Yeah, this is mobilize on an enchantment. It is 4 mana though. This is very expensive. But it turns all of your 1/1 warrior tokens into 2/1s. Yeah, this is probably good. This probably just lets you like run over your opponent way faster, right? Is it worth 4? I mean, I guess if this is like your top end of the Mardu deck, but then maybe, yeah, this is probably good. It's probably good. It's because you play this, all your creatures get bigger, you attack immediately because you're Mardu, so you already have creatures. You get 1/1s, you mobilize a bunch of 1/1s a little bit. Yeah, this is probably really good. This is probably good. Wild Ride. 1 mana, target creature gets +3/+0 and gains haste, and then you can harmonize it. Sure, it's another one of these, like, minor buff spells. I don't really use these, but sure. Zurgo's Vanguard. A 3 mana, star 3, mobilize 1. This creature's power is equal to the number of creatures you control. This is probably very good. Because you probably attack with this and a bunch of mobilized creatures, and this is like a 5 or 6/3. This is probably very, very good. Also, it's a dog soldier, so he's a very good boy. But yeah, this is probably really, really good, right? Because this can just get out of control with mobilize. I think this is very good, unless your opponent really manages to stop your mobilized creatures. What did I think of red? So I think there are... Again, I think the whole Mardu package, white, black, red, is very scary. And I think there are some very good red cards. I think, where is it? I think this Magmatic Hellkite is an absolute banger. I think they've got a lot of good aggressive stuff, but I think, like, this Corey Steel Cutter is really good as well. But I think they're, like... A lot of their really high-end stuff isn't great in Limited. Like, Draco Genesis isn't good in Limited. Sarkhan isn't great in Limited. This Stormscale Scion isn't great in Limited. Like, I think they just have a lot of, like, cards that everyone is going to be like, this card is really, really cool for my commander deck. or this card is really, really cool, but, you know, not in limited. In limited, it's kind of too expensive and too specific. But oh well.